for our final topic of the evening, which will be putting Trill Trey to sleep tonight with this whooping that he's about to get.
Oh boy.
We have Myles Garrett as the top ranked defensive end or outside linebacker, basically pass rusher
Edge
in the
rusher.
NFL.
Yeah.
Edge rusher. So, and they have him over TJ Watt, which, obviously Trey's Pittsburgh Steeler, which I believe he was a sack leader last year, correct?
He should have been defensive player of the year.
Should have been, but he wasn't. Anyways,
2 years in a row he got robbed, but who's counting though?
But yeah. So Trey wanted to talk about TJ Watt versus Myles Garrett. So Trey, go ahead. What you got? What's your debate as to why he is the better?
If you thought I came here to play with you, well, god damn it, I did. All right. So I mean this is quite like this is an easy I guess debate is easy disagreement to have. One, they're in the same division. Two, they literally came into the league the same exact year. Mm-hmm. So it makes it that much. You can really line them up year by year and just look at everything. And TJ Watt, who everybody knows Myles Garrett was drafted first overall. TJ Watt didn't go to wait till 24th. But if you look at every single category, it's not. TJ Watt is better than him at everything. So now some of this stuff doesn't necessarily translate, I guess, for edge rushers, but I'm just saying, if we're looking at career interceptions, TJ Watt is 4-0. We're looking at pass deflections, it's 25-6. Looking at forced fumbles, it's 17-10. We're looking at sacks. That's one of the big ones that people are gonna, because that's an edge rusher, right? That's what they're supposed to do. 49.5 to 43. Now this is your first overall guy. TJ went way at 24. It should be a big. I would think it'd be a big margin for somebody who was the top pick in the draft that year. Just saying. Mm-hmm. Okay. Total tackles 230 to 152. Solo tackles 168 to 107. Assisted tackles 62 to 45, and tackles for loss 59 to 42. Every category, he's better at. I just don't understand. But I do understand though. It's like I said, he was the number one pick. He's a bigger name. He's more popular. It's like a popularity contest type of thing. So he's the bigger name, so he gets the recognition and stuff. But literally a dude within his division outperforms him pretty much every year. And yet Madden decided that Myles Garrett was rated the top edge rusher, but TJ was third. It's just kind of crazy to me. I just want to know what they were looking at, especially if we're looking at you couldn't be looking at last year.
Well, hang on.
Because as Vick just stated, he led the league in sacks. So you weren't looking at last year. If this is what are you basing off of? I just gave you the career stat. So what are you basing it? Tell me what they based it off of.
You got something to say, Spence?
Oh, interaction. Basically, you gotta look at interaction. Like you said, it's a popularity contest, bro. You gotta think about it. Myles Garrett is more involved when it comes to Madden and EA more than TJ. So of course they're gonna lean to him a little bit more. Numbers wise, no, I get it. Numbers
he's more
wise,
known for hitting people in the head with helmets.
Hey, you're still mad about that?
Sounds personal. Sounds personal over here.
That's about it.
You're still mad about that.
That's not my quarterback. I'm just saying.
Actually, that was your quarterback.
My quarterback is 7.
Actually, at that time period, that was your quarterback. But I get it.
No, my quarterback was Duck at that time period. Continue.
You actually, oh wow, you actually claimed the Duck. Anyways, moving on. So I get it. Numbers wise, yes. Yes.
Okay, so that's all you have to say. That's all.
Right, but
that should be in the conversation. It shouldn't be.
I'm answering your question.
Numbers wise, yes. That's it.
But I'm answering your question, Trey. You're like, why is he more has a higher overall? Because of interaction.
This is exactly why EA sucks. This right here. He just said if we're doing it based on the numbers, this player is better than this player, but
it's the interaction.
Your rating system isn't going to look at that. What? And then another issue of mine though, besides Myles Garrett, is TJ Watt is literally rated the same as JJ Watt. And if you're trying to tell me that JJ Watt is still on that type of level, no. But that's where it brings back to my point of it's a popularity thing. Of course, JJ Watt is the bigger name. It's JJ Watt. So you're gonna, I guess you don't want to disrespect him and rate him too low, but in turn, you're gonna disrespect somebody who's been more recently putting up numbers and putting in work. It's kind of crazy to me.
Popularity, man.
Well, I disagree. All right. So first things first.
You disagree with facts and numbers? I guess.
No. The numbers are the numbers. I mean, we could talk about numbers like saying in the NBA, everybody's saying LeBron's the GOAT because he has all these numbers. That's not necessarily true. This lies along the same lines. Like, just because TJ Watt has led the league in sacks, just because his numbers may be better than the other player.
They're not made.
They are better than the other player's numbers. Does not mean necessarily that player is actually better than the other player. So
what?
The league had.
I'm just confused. What is he saying? What is he saying right now?
So what I'm trying to say is
go ahead. My fault.
The league had a vote on who would they rather have. The majority of the league said they would rather have Myles Garrett more so than they would have TJ Watt. TJ Watt does play on a phenomenal defense, mind you. All that talent that they have, a better. And you can try to argue this if you want to. Who has a better front seven? The Browns or the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I don't know, because if you're asking everybody right now, if you ask everybody today, they're saying that the Browns have a better team.
Well, at right now, yes.
Okay,
right now.
So yes.
But previously with the stats that you were talking about, Myles Garrett was double teamed more so than TJ Watt. TJ Watt Myles Garrett led the league in created sacks, which he did on his own, 16 and a half. That's how much he created off of his creativity. He has more, TJ Watt is more athletic, not more athletic. He gets his sacks more from the athletic side of him. Myles Garrett can do it both from the power standpoint, but also from the athletic standpoint. So it gives TJ the disadvantage of that. But not saying that TJ is not a great pass rusher, because I'm not saying that. He's a great run defender as well. But again, based off of what owners have said, teams have said, that Myles Garrett, they value more on his side for that defense, more so than TJ Watt. Now, again, I'm not saying that the numbers aren't true or anything like that, because they are what they are. But doesn't mean necessarily that he's the better player, pass rusher, which is that category.
Well, I mean, my thing to that is obviously the owners are going to say that they've been saying this since draft day, because one went first overall, one went 24th. That's not saying anything new.
But
My argument though is if this man went first overall, his productivity should be a lot better than somebody who went 24th, right? If he's that much better, he's creating all this stuff by himself.
But
it should show, right?
What I'm saying though is that Myles Garrett was doing it for the longest. Well, not the longest, but he was doing it for the time that he came in. Yeah, came in the same year. But he did it on a better. TJ Watt did it on a better defense, more so than Myles Garrett, because Myles Garrett didn't have the talent that TJ Watt had. So therefore, and then some people would argue that Bud Dupree was better than TJ Watt, but I'm not going to go there. I'm just saying that's reports that I read, social media, that some said TJ was not better than Bud Dupree. But that's neither here nor there. That's not my quote. That's not my that's not my quote. But that's what the reports were about TJ Watt versus Bud Dupree. Because obviously we've seen once Bud Dupree got hurt, what happened to TJ Watt's game? It fell off. You see when Myles Garrett, he's practically been dealing with double teams, throughout his career without what was the problem that everybody was saying? They don't have somebody that they can depend on the opposite side of Myles Garrett that can create pressure. Or if not, they didn't have anybody in the interior that can help free up Myles Garrett, more so like how TJ Watt has Cameron Hayward and Tuitt. I don't know the players. Stephon Tuitt that can help create one-on-one situations that we see with TJ Watt on most of his pass rushes. So that's why I agree that when I look at Myles Garrett and TJ Watt, no disrespect to TJ Watt, but based off of what the double teams that he wins, the ability like that, and they both have tremendous ability to rush from inside outside. Because I've seen TJ Watt do it too, but TJ Watt plays on a better defense. TJ Watt plays on a better defense more so than Myles Garrett.
Tell USA Today that.
Hey, and that's gotta take into account. And that's all I'm saying. That's got to take into account that he's playing with less and still being able to produce the way that he has. Now last year, like you said, he did not have such a great year. But what is this, like his third year in the NFL? Just like TJ Watt?
It was both of their fourth year, actually.
Okay, all right, so fourth year. So TJ Watt was more, he got into a better situation. Just like you have some teams that they have a quarterback, he's a good quarterback, but he is in a wrong situation where he's not able to fully just translate his game to the NFL level because he may not have the receivers he needs. He may not have the offensive line that he needs to be able to produce.
So basically the Bengals. So basically the Bengals.
Basically the Bengals. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. If you don't have an offensive line, your quarterback, I mean, he can't really show his full talent. So that's I guess that's a good comparison as to what I'm saying. Is that Myles Garrett played on a less talented team compared to TJ Watt, which, again, no disrespect to TJ Watt, but with Myles Garrett, what he's been able to do with the defensive line that he had, and everybody could say nobody knows a linebacker on that defense. So it's kind of like similar to the Green Bay Packers. The Pittsburgh Steelers, everybody can say, hey, we obviously know Devin Bush. We know about TJ Watt. We knew about Bud Dupree, Hayward, Tuitt. So, I mean, you can name everybody on that front seven more so than the Browns. So, again, when it comes to that, I think that's more so what direction they were trending towards. And again, in terms of the NFL owners and whatnot, most of them decided I'd rather have Myles Garrett more so than TJ Watt. So, numbers do tell you the story, but they don't tell you the whole story.
All right. So, as far as your boneheaded comment about Bud Dupree, real quick. So,
let me look. I got that comment too. Go ahead.
No, I don't need to comment, but if you look at Bud Dupree before 2018, we
Yeah.
were pretty much on the fence of calling him a bust at that point because TJ Watt came in 2 years later and he had already pretty much doubled everything that Bud Dupree had done in 4 years of him already being in the league.
Yep.
TJ Watt's rookie year was pretty much better than every year Bud Dupree was on our team except for 2019 where he broke out.
And with that being said, it's the same thing that you could say, vice versa. You've seen the impact that Bud Dupree had without TJ Watt, but you're also seeing the impact that TJ Watt didn't have when he didn't have Bud Dupree. And here's the quote that I got that I saw. Probably has the best combination of motor and smarts in the league. He wins with intelligence, effort, technique, positioning. All these factors made a compelling case for the top spot. Some evaluators consider Watt an overachiever. And then they were referring to Bud Dupree. The truth is, he may not have been the best athlete at his own position. An NFC defensive coach said, referring to former teammate Bud Dupree, who signed with Tennessee as a free agent, he's the most explosive guy, but he's so damn relentless and smart and technically perfect that he just wins. He'll probably have a Hall of Fame career for all those reasons. Now, again, that's just what they said in reference to Bud Dupree and TJ Watt.
So still just to kill that whole argument. So if that's the case, right? Before TJ Watt got drafted, guess who Bud Dupree was playing aside from all those years? James Harrison, and he wasn't doing shit. So I don't want to hear about how Bud Dupree and having talent on the opposite end, that didn't do anything for him.
Okay, so
he was getting 4 sacks a year with James Harrison on the opposite side.
Okay, so just to squash that I guess that comparison that you just made with James Harrison, obviously that's in the later part of his career, but obviously some players, they don't perform in the early parts of their career. Let me throw out a name for all of y'all. Buccaneers fans, y'all familiar with this player? Shaq Barrett. He was in Denver playing opposite of Von Miller. Nobody knew this man's name until he got it to Tampa. And, it just took him some time to develop his game. And look at him now. All-Pro, Super Bowl champion. I mean, some players just don't relish right away in the NFL. And Bud Dupree, clearly he needed some time to get to the level that he's at now. So, but hey,
Trey's not buying it. Yeah, Trey's not buying it.
But to all take valid fans, comment down below, who do y'all agree with? Is Myles Garrett the best player, or is TJ Watt the best player, the best pass rusher in the NFL? Now,
numbers don't lie.
Also, let us know who you think won that. Was it me, or was it obviously not Trey? Comment down below.
Clearly. Like they say, numbers don't lie. You're telling me what some owners said. Owners who don't play, owners who probably own teams that don't make the playoffs. Like, I don't care about what these owners say.
Okay, so
that don't mean nothing to me.
So with that being said, we haven't heard anything from any players, so we can only go off of what people have been saying. No players are vouching for TJ Watt being the best player, best pass rusher. Correction. Nobody's saying anything about TJ Watt.
Hey, all this proves, like I said, is EA and their rating system is terrible. That's all it proves.
Inconsistent. I'll say that. Not terrible, but inconsistent.
Yeah, they might get a couple players right, and then the rest is just like, okay.
Yeah, and I agree.
I guess if you have a name, you can stay rated high in Madden, even past your prime. I mean,
and I agree. Devontae Adams is number 1, so on it right there.
I mean, he was last year. I could agree with that. That's now if he were to have a down year next year and y'all still have him rated 99, then see that's where the issue kind of comes in with EA. Because
like
there's no reason that that JJ Watt is still 94. It's just
like how they had Gronk retired and Gronk came back and he already had a 90-something overall rating in Madden.
Yeah, and
what's like 92, 93?
He didn't really do anything until he snapped in the Super Bowl, but look how late in the Madden season that would have been. Like
that took a while.
But I mean, hey, EA, they're a monopoly at this point, so they're gonna take our money every year anyway. So there's nothing we can do about it. But I seen those ratings and I was just like, nah.
So you agree with Kyle Pitt?
I didn't see the ratings for Kyle Pitt.
Well, he's the highest rated rookie.
Okay. Okay. Well,
I mean, it's hard to judge rookies, especially like quarterback. I don't know.
I don't want to pay too much attention to rookies.
The highest rating is a tight end.
Tight ends. Yeah. I probably would have
81?
I probably would have put a quarterback over,
Kyle what Pitt. Quarterback? Trevor Lawrence? Because from what I've been reading, he's kind of had struggles during camp, so
that's not good.
It's not looking like so sure like most of us thought it was.
It's about to be Minshew mania again.
Yeah,
which that might actually benefit him though. Maybe he's not the player that can just come straight. Maybe he needs a year or so.
There's nothing wrong with that. I know that boy Minshew ain't taking number 2 for no reason. So
yeah, that boy said number 2 ain't an option.
An option.
Okay, so as we're wrapping this up here, just some more around the news around the league real quick. Steven Nelson, former cornerback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, unfortunately, after report has signed with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Good signing.
That was a steal of a signing for them. I'm still kind of baffled as to why we cut him. Just didn't make any sense to me. Because I know, I guess.
Do you think it's cap?
I guess to most people, they would say that Joe Hayden is our top-rated cornerback, but if you actually watched our game, Steven Nelson clearly was like our
most valuable.
Yeah, our number 1 corner.
Do you think it's cap?
I don't think so.
No,
if it was cap, it would be.
Yeah, no, it wasn't cap, and then the fact that I don't know what was going on with that, but Eagles got a hell of a steal. They could pair him with Darius Slay. They definitely needed help at cornerback. They didn't get one in the draft, really. So I feel like that was a great value pick for. I'm pretty sure they didn't have to pay him very much as late in the offseason as it is. So that was really a steal for them. So shout out to them for that. You got Malik Hooker, unfortunately.
Disappointing.
Now this man, he was all over, like just flew out, getting dinners and stuff from all these teams, visited with team after team.
Like,
This man decided. But I get it. Jerry Jones is probably very convincing, man. He probably ain't let that man leave the building once he got him into Jerry World. He's like, he did all that. He did the spiel. He dusted off those old ass rings from like 100 years ago. And he told them about what it used to be a Dallas Cowboy, because it doesn't mean the same thing in 2021. But, they once were America's team. So, he told them all about that history lesson. And I guess Malik Hooker, he bought into it. So he's going to put on the star. Unfortunately for him, because he's a good player, still pretty young. I think on the right team, he could have made an impact.
Yeah.
I think he's just going to go waste it. He might just go waste his talent, though. But, hey, free my guy. I hope it wasn't a long term. I think it was only a 1 year, so maybe he'll see the light.
Well, I don't know about his. But Steven Nelson is a 1 year more than $4 million.
Which
Okay,
he was
that's a good
making
deal.
more, which he was making more with us. So I just don't I really don't understand why we let him go. Makes no sense to me. And I
Yeah.
can tell you that we are going to regret that.
And Malik Hooker, I am disappointed. Probably had a 5-star meal, but he joined a 1-star team.
Yes, everyone, that 1 star for Dallas, that is in fact a rating system. That is what that is. That's why they have the 1 star on their helmet.
Not that you're a star, okay? Disappointed.
Yeah.
Could have gone to a better team. But anyways,
You could.
Oh, so real quick, besides signings, just more of EA and their ratings. So I just want to run through these real quick and see if y'all agree. So their top rated receivers for Madden this year. Obviously, Vick, you mentioned Devontae Adams was number 1. He's 99. They have DeAndre Hopkins at 2 at 98.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill's 98. Stephon Diggs is 97. Julio Jones is 95. Michael Thomas at 6 is 94. See, that's a one that's a little too high for me, especially after last year.
Yeah, that's a little bit high.
I thought he was overrated before, but he definitely didn't perform last year, but whatever. Keenan Allen, okay, he finally gets some love. Like I told you, if you looked at most top 10 lists, they probably wouldn't have Keenan Allen on it, but I guess he made a top 10 list for once. He's 93 at 7.
Oh, that's for the last year.
Amari Cooper at 8, 92 overall. Mike Evans is number 9, 91 overall.
Yeah,
And
that's
Allen Robinson is a 90 at number 10. So I think the one we all kind of disagreed with was Michael Thomas. I think Evans could be higher.
Evans and Thomas need to switch.
I could
actually
agree with that.
Evan Thomas needs to switch, and then after that switch, Allen and Thomas can switch.
Allen Robinson should be higher than 10 too. He should be over Amari Cooper.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think he should be over Amari Cooper and Michael Thomas.
Yeah. So I have Michael Thomas at 10, and probably if I really had time, we about to end. But if I really had time, he's probably not a top 10 receiver. At least based off last year. He's not.
Okay, here we go. For me, it's a reach, but I would give Justin at least an 89, maybe.
I mean, he had a great year last year, Justin Jefferson.
If not, maybe an 87.
No Adam Thielen on the list. I put Adam Thielen over Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I mean it's some.
Yeah.
And Julio Jones kind of got some love too, just off of his name because he was hurt.
That is true. He is a 95, and he
barely played.
Yeah, and honestly, Calvin Ridley should be on the top 10 if we're talking about last year. So I don't know, but this is what I'm talking about with EA and Madden. It's like you see Julio's getting the name because of the love because of his name. Michael Thomas clearly getting the love because of what he did the previous year, breaking those records because he didn't do anything last year. He definitely wasn't top 10. Might not have been top. He wasn't even top 20 last year. He barely even played.
Who?
He probably played the same amount of games as Julio last year.
Michael?
Thomas. Yeah, Michael Thomas. He barely didn't play. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you have a name, you're gonna get love. But the real ones know who should have been the top of the receivers list and who should have been lower. And the real ones know that TJ Watt is better than Myles Garrett.
You go. Okay.
He should be higher.
Right.
See how we tie it all back in, how we bring it all back together.
All right. So
yes, with that being said,
anything else?
Agree with me.
Oh, boy.
Or you can be like Vick and disagree.
Agree with me.
But at the end of the day, the Steelers are better than the Ravens.
Yeah.
And all takes
you don't get a show
are valid.
2 weeks, 2 more weeks, ladies and gentlemen, 2 more weeks.